Are you having difficulties in teaching algebra to students? Don't worry, in this video, we'll be explaining an activity that focuses on solving simple equations.
This activity can be used with all your students as it will be differentiated for the mathematically gifted students, the intermediate students, and the mathematically challenged students.
We have differentiated our activity into two parameters. The first parameter will be the construction of learning objective for each ability level, and the second parameter will be the method used to translate word problems into simple equation. Please be noted that the activity for all students are the same.
Let's start with the first activity, which is for the intermediate students. For intermediate students, they will be given the word problem as shown. Jack has 6 pens. Alice gave Jack more pens. Now Jack has 20 pens. How many pens did Alice give Jack? The learning objective for this activity would be students will be able to illustrate an equation from a word problem, solve the equation with the aid of illustration, and lastly, justify the answers given using mathematical terms. For this activity, students will have to translate the word problem into an equation by drawing out the problem. Students will draw a part-part whole model and write the information that they have found from the word problem.
On the part-part whole model, students will first write 20 pens on the whole box as according to the word problem, Jack has a total of 20 pens. Next, students will have to write the number of pens Jack has, which is 6, on the part number box. Lastly, students will have to find the number of pens that Alice gave to Jack according to the illustration. Once students have solved the equation, they will have to justify their answers using mathematical terms. These are the examples of words they can use. Students at this stage are transitioning from the concrete operational stage to the formal operational stage. Hence, students illustrating a word problem serves as a medium to translate their ideas. Another skill that will be developed through this activity would be their heuristic thinking. They use drawing as an approach to understand and solve the word problem. Now, let's take a look at how our activity will be differentiated for the mathematically challenged students. The learning objective for this activity would be students will be able to model an equation from a word problem using manipulatives, solve the equation with the aid of manipulatives, lastly, justify the answers given using mathematical terms. For mathematically challenged students, the word problem given will be the same. For this activity, students will have to translate the word problem into an equation by using manipulative, which will be the Lego building blocks. Let's take a look at how to solve it. For the mathematically challenged students, they will draw the part-part whole model but use the Lego building blocks to find the solution. Based on the word problem, students will first put 20 Legos on the whole plate as Jack has a total number of 20 pens. Next, students will put 6 Legos on the part plate to represent the number of pens Jack has. Now, students will have to find the number of pens Alice gave Jack. Once students have completed the activity, they will have to justify their answers using mathematical terms. These are the example of words they can use. As students at this stage are transitioning from the concrete operational stage to the formal operational stage, hence, students using concrete objects to model and solve the word problem serves as a medium to translate their ideas. Now, let's take a look at how our activity will be differentiated for the mathematically gifted students. The learning objective for this activity will be students will be able to construct an equation from a word problem, solve the constructed equation, lastly, justify the answers given using mathematical terms. For mathematically gifted students, they will be given the same word problem as well. For this activity, students will have to translate the word problem into an equation without the help of any manipulative and illustration. Let's take a look at how to solve it. Students should be able to extract the key points such as the total number of pens Jack has and the number of pens Jack has before Alice gave him more to construct an equation. Once the equation is constructed, students will now find the number of pens that Alice gave Jack. Once students have completed the activity, they will have to justify their answers using mathematical terms. These are the example of words they can use. Students at this stage are able to construct a simple equation based on a word problem by extracting the key points and choosing the right operation for the equation. With this activity, students should be able to solve simple equations. We have come to the end of our video. If you have any questions regarding this topic, feel free to comment on the comment section below. This video is brought to you by Mei Mei,
Suprit, Kalpagam. Thank you for watching.